All right, nice action today. Some great two-way trading today in ES. Let's go ahead and recap today's action. Essentially, we came into the session wanting to see how price was going to react versus that prior day low 4,800 level. I had mentioned in the live stream, my main focus is going to be that reaction versus this 2-point zone right through here. And as a reminder, the reason I was interested in that zone is simply because on Friday, we had what is known as an inside day. So you can see the entirety of Friday's action is within Thursday's bar. This is a very typical inside day. So anytime you have that inside day, it tells us there's a bit of consolidation, right? A bit of volatility contraction. And generally speaking, what we want to do is trade with the direction that the inside day breaks in. So if this inside day breaks the upside, meaning it breaks the prior day high, we're focused on longs. If it breaks that prior day low, we're focused on downside action. Now, the bigger picture context within that kind of near-term setup is a range, right? Looking at the action from Monday, January 8th, essentially we've just been trading in a sideways range for pretty much the past week or so, looking at specific levels here of 47.75 right through here up into 48.40, and that 48.40 level also happens to be a key daily resistance zone. So that was the resistance zone from December 28th. Now, it's just important context for the actual intraday setup. Remember, you always want to be kind of aligning your higher time frame analysis, your multiple time frame analysis with what you're looking to do intraday. Okay, so with that in mind, we had the inside day as kind of a primary watch, or the inside day break rather, as kind of a primary watch for today's session. Take a look at this 5-minute regular trading hours chart. Here's your prior day low, right where my cursor is, 48.0225. ES opens right through here. So you can see price fails to hold that prior day low. It fails to hold that 4,800 level. And like I mentioned, when the inside day breaks, if you have acceptance either below the low or above the high, you want to be trading with the direction of the break. So price pretty much into 10 a.m., we have that sell-off, bit of a sell-off into the near-term range low zone. Did not quite get into that near-term range low at 47.75. Price found a bid versus the overnight low. Can see that faint level here on my chart, overnight low into 47.85. So it sweeps the overnight low, grabs liquidity, right? You can see the volume uptick there as well, grabbing liquidity, and then bounces. Then posts a nice bounce. So we have the bounce, takes out session highs, right? Presses session highs, and we start to test that prior day volume point of control. See on the chart again, prior day volume point of control as well as the overnight high. Let's take a look at that 5-minute chart once again with that prior day profile on it. This yellow line right through here, where my cursor is, that's Friday's volume point of control. I've mentioned a number of times, but in case you've missed it, you want to have some eyeballs on that prior day profile. It can help you kind of add some levels to your chart, add some confluence, add some conviction to what it is that you're looking at, depending on, where you're interested in actually getting involved with the index. This also works for individual names. If you're trading stocks in play, you want to keep an eye on that prior day profile. It can give you clues about how the current session is going to unfold. So generally speaking, just to keep it simple, that volume point of control can usually act as support or resistance levels, depending on where price is in relation to that level. So you could see rejected initially, and it also happens to line up, is even more interesting, also happens to line up with that range volume point of control, which now sits at 48.12. So as a reminder, the point of control just tells us where most of the volume has transacted for that structure. In this case, we're focused on this range, and most of the volume has transacted at 48.12 here. So once again, higher time frames acting as resistance right through there. So you have price rejecting that prior day volume point of control, pulls back into VWAP, right? believe we had the Fed's Waller speaking at this time. Now look at this. Price is back into VWAP. It's back into that prior day low. It's back into that level of interest at 4,800. Great area to be attempting some longs. Right? We have the confluence of VWAP as well as these two reference points and the level of interest at 4,800. Good area to be trying some longs. Once again, price retests the high. So depending on how you entered this, right, it's a 15-point move. First target, if you're trading this type of setup, is always going to be the session high. Grabs the session high. Now from there, no follow through, and price resolves lower. No real bid here on that retest of that same zone where there was a bid previously. We don't want to be buyers here. No one else is interested. Price rolls over, gets pretty close to the session low, right? Bounces. Now that key area, 4,800, prior day low, VWAP is now acting as resistance. See that? No break above, no break above. So support becomes resistance, and we roll over. Price rolls over, makes a fresh session low a few points shy of that near-term range low. So that's pretty much a recap on today's action for ES. Some very good action today. Two-way trading, definitely a number of solid opportunities with good volume as well. Question now is, what is next? Well, from a structure perspective, price is still trading down near this near-term area of support, right? So my main focus, depending on what the overnight action looks like tomorrow and early in the morning, heading into regular trading hours open, is how price is trading versus this 47.75 area. This is still support until it's not, right? So we don't want to make any assumptions that support is going to be breaking. We just treat this as support until we have definitive proof that it's breaking, or at least more clues that it's breaking. So I'll be watching the action versus this 47.75. Ideally, price opens a little bit closer there. We're about 15 points off or so. So location is not great here at this 47.90, assuming if we were to open right here. It's more of a hands-off trade type of location for me. Call this no man's land. So again, we'll see what the overnight action looks like. I'm going to be looking at 47.75, potentially 4,800, and we'll take it from there. This is range trading. Going to be trading with no bias, depending on location within the range and then what type of setup we have within that. But big picture, range. NQ, very similar. Very, very similar. So I mentioned this morning in the pre-market prep live stream, this continues to be a key area of resistance where I have this kind of red rectangle up through here is an area of supply. Price gets up here. There's too much supply. Where's it going to go? It's going to roll over until price finds demand. And demand happens to be in this 16,800 level. So near-term range on NQ as well. For now, it's just kind of oscillating within the range. Again, some good action in NQ today. Very similar to ES. Structure remains the same. We want to be looking at the action versus 17K. The near-term volume point of control at 16,950 can be a decent reference point. But remember, your best opportunities are near the edge of the range, So this is a decent reference point, but anything else, it's going to be considered no man's land. So we either want action up here, down here, or maybe versus that near-term volume point of control. So again, we'll see what the overnight action looks like in NQ, and then, I'll share an updated game plan in tomorrow's pre-market prep live stream. As far as individual names, the list was quite dry. We are getting into earnings season now, so I do suspect more individual names will be making the list. But for right now, I'm just looking at BA. Boeing, huge volume. All right, I want to see if we could catch the second day play on this one tomorrow. Definitely a bear bias. Into 200, looking for a failure of 200. So we'll see how that shakes out tomorrow. Now, again, keep an eye on that first day volume point of control right here at 200.75. If it gaps higher, right? If it gaps higher up above this today's structure, 204, that can potentially trigger a long squeeze the late shorts out of this thing. So see how that one opens up again. That's pretty much the list for today. Hope everyone had a great day. Some really nice action today. First day back from a long weekend. Good volume, good setups. See you guys tomorrow morning for the pre-market prep live stream. Have a good afternoon. Make sure you get that review done. Take care.